All right, what's happening in Atlanta and the rest of the world? News and Talk 1380 WAOK, voice of the community. Now getting real with Richard. Yes, the realest man on radio. Do me a big favor. Call a friend, call a neighbor, call a coworker. Text a friend, text a neighbor, text a coworker. Let them know what time it is. It's time to get real with Richard for the next 3 hours. You will be informed, empowered. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, even entertained. Man, I got a lot to talk about today. It's Paycheck Friday for a whole lot of people, including myself. Did you guys see the Anderson Cooper interview with ex-Playboy playmate Karen McDougal? The interview was revealing. Everybody believes that Playboy playmates over Donald Trump. That says a whole lot about the current character assessment of the president. Everybody believes the playmates. Karen McDougal, however, revealed something that we've talked about on this show before. Yes, he had an extramarital affair. Yes, it was awkward because his wife was around. But Karen McDougal said the strangest thing wasn't the affair, had nothing to do with the interaction, but a statement, a compliment, if you would. According to Karen McDougal, Trump compared her to one of his daughters. Trump compared Karen McDougal to Ivanka Trump.
Always a lot.
Now, according to Karen, basically Trump said, "You're beautiful just like my daughter." I think he said it like that, breathing hard and yeah.
How else can you say it?
Now, let me recall your memory to a day where Donald Trump was on The View. And Trump said that if she wasn't his daughter, he would be dating her. And that's when we just said, you know what, that's just icky, man. Why would you say something like that? That's just weird. His daughter laughed. And let me take you back to another interview years before that, where his daughter was probably about 12 years old at the time, and he was asked, what are the similarities between his daughter and his wife? Well, he didn't talk about brilliance or mental capacity or their strength, but he said, I don't know. Let's see what happens when she feels out. That was his response about his then child. This is a strange pattern, ladies and gentlemen. We will stay on top of it. 404-892-2703. North Korea experts tear into John Bolton. John Bolton is now the appointed National Security Advisor. This is the third one in 14 months. Let me explain to you the illness of John Bolton. First of all, he's been a Fox News talking head for the last 14 years. This man has not met a brown country that he doesn't want to bomb. This is the spirit of John Bolton. What I find interesting is that people will argue with me. I debated Senator Mark Williams yesterday on CBS. He's running for governor of Georgia. And he said that Trump is a remarkable negotiator. He stands by the president. And my response to the good senator was, this is the same guy who could not successfully negotiate a simple non-disclosure with a porn star. But you expect him to be an expert negotiator when it comes to North Korea, China, Russia, Mexico, and everywhere else. Here's the truth about the tariffs. The Dow is down. The tariffs were to affect adversely China. But it truly affects Canada and Mexico the most. China only produces around 2% of the steel in the United States of America. It doesn't make much sense. In addition to that, Trump utilized a clause in our national security code claiming that all of these other countries are a national security threat in order for him to bypass Congress and implement the tariffs by way of executive order. Here's the problem. That means that officially today, Canada is considered an enemy of the state. Mexico is considered an enemy of the state. Canada came out with a statement and said, when your soldiers die, our soldiers die. You know who makes more steel than anybody else? And they're floating around in America? Canada. They are the most adversely affected. 404-892-2703. The Senate passes a $1.3 trillion spending bill. Trump has tweeted that he will probably veto that spending bill. We may be headed for another government shutdown. Who gets hurt in that? That's right, the American people. Who gets hurt in the tariff? You do, because you have to pay more for any product that's connected to aluminum or steel. We're talking about canned goods and everything else. You're going to pay more money. That's called a market adjustment. 404-892-2703. It is Anything Goes Friday. You know what we do on Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Ask Rashad. That's right. I put together the greatest panel of relationship experts on the planet Earth just for you. Come to me with your questions. Today, we have a real treat. I have comedian, actress extraordinaire, Monique. You know you're big when you can just go by your first name? Monique is in the building, as well as her hubby, Sydney. They are here. Also, Miss Sophia will join us from V103. Get your questions ready. 404-892-2703. 404-892-2703. Darnell is in here locked out because he went to sleep 1 hour ago. You know what time it is. I got your money. I'm trying to give it to you. Ladies and gentlemen, 15 minutes after every hour, I transform into your best friend.
What your name is?
Moneybag Shouter.
But what's your name?
Hashtag Moneybag Shouter.
Okay.
And, you know, today, if you take out your cell phone right now and text the keyword horse, H-O-R-S-E, horse, to 72881.
Can we get in the sentence?
Horse to 72881. Darnell wants me to use it in a sentence. About 2 weeks ago, Darnell had a friend that came up to the studio. He said, Rashad, I want you to meet this woman because she's built like a stallion. After I met her, I said, Darnell, she's built more like a horse. H-O-R-S-E. H-O-R-S-E. To Darnell's fiance, that's not a real story. Do not call him on the back line. We got a lot going on today. You're getting real with the realest man on radio. News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
892-2703 on News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
Hey, my babies. So we get ready to come up. And thank y'all for joining us. Let me see if this is turned up.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Hey, above the room. How you doing, Shug? Hey, DeAndre. Hey, Janet. Hey, Wayne. Wayne been with us for a long time.
Hello?
He said, what we talking about?
Okay.
Oh, it's we're on Rashad Richie's show, and today we're talking about couples relationships, couples conversation. And we wanted to bring y'all on in because we know y'all got something to say too. Aloha, sister.
And I said, Teddy, I got to get you in front of my listeners and talk to us about
Hey, Natasha.
foreclosure prevention.
Well, if you had a change of income, Rashad, two incomes reduced to one, the loss of a loved one that contributes to
see
the
it.
household expenses, divorce or separation, even if you had to file
Hey,
bankruptcy,
Red.
medical hardship that may have caused the financial hardship
Good morning.
is criteria.
Hey, Sheree.
What's the real benefit for modifying a loan?
Hey, Angie.
Are able to get off to a fresh start. You have a lower interest
Well, we can't wait for that
rate,
show in Dallas, baby, Grand Prairie,
Does credit matter?
the Verizon Theater.
Okay, this is TLA Real Estate. That's who you represent. That's who you are. How can
Daddy, they're gonna know what kind of frames you had on yesterday.
Oh, Carrera.
You can also check them out
Carrera?
Carrera.
Those were the frames.
Okay, so maybe you didn't finish or broke
Hey, Red Boy.
to get to the gym or start that project you had kept on the back burner since, well, okay, the dawn of time. I get it. That's okay.
G-Bait said, hey, Sydney.
There's one thing.
This is my
What's up, brother?
assistant, Nicole.
How you doing,
She
sister?
does a remarkable job.
How you doing, sister? Thank you, baby.
You when we get ready.
All you have to do is call 866-282-7327. That's 866-282-7327. You can also
When
log
you-
online to
the farmer's market.
and click donate. And maybe you know someone that's blind. You can reach out to NFB at nfb.org.
Okay, your
That's
lashes is
NFB
doing it.
at nfb.org. So what do you have to lose?
Your
You have
lashes.
everything to gain by helping someone in need, like your motivation and a tax deduction. So why not get started today? And remember, charity is only a phone call away.
It's the geometry teacher who mans the ticket window.
Hey, Boozy Bear.
Yeah, just when we start that
I'm
live.
surprised Tucker ain't came in.
And store managers,
Tucker's on.
the referee.
It's the graduate who listens to the league championship game on the internet.
It's the parent who sells ads in school athletic programs.
It's the cashier at the corner convenience store who wears school colors on every game day.
It's the trainers, equipment managers, and ball boys.
You took a picture. I'm gonna post this on my web page. Just of this, yeah, all of us in this. Beautiful. Right. Thank you.
They do. You do.
We all do.
High school sports. It's the we that every community needs. This message presented by the Georgia High School Association and the Georgia Athletic Directors Association.
News and Talk 1380 WAOK. Call us at 404
Happy Friday, baby.
on News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
He said so.
Call us now at 404-892-2703.
They called it.
Yeah, you did.
WAOK.
You got that clip?
No. I'm looking for it right now.
Okay.
It was supposed to.
I need to know who's a relationship question.
I'm sorry?
I need to know who's a relationship question.
DK, you have a relationship question?
I know, baby, because we're in somebody else's house. We're in Rashard's studio. They said they sitting on the opposite sides.
And you have a relationship question?
You got something?
We need you, I need to have you can call back.
No, that's fine. They don't have to call back. We got enough open lines.
No. Okay.
Rashard, what's the calling number?
Mike, do you have a
404
The calling number, my loves, if y'all want to call in, is 404
892
892
2703.
2703. Now I know y'all ain't get all that, so somebody got the first part, somebody got the middle part, somebody got the last part. Y'all put it all together.
Okay, hold on. Johnny, do you have a relationship question?
Thank you, Steven.
That's in case y'all need to say it.
Thank you, baby.
What's happening? Welcome back. 404-892-2703. You're still getting real with the realest man in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday. Anything goes Friday. I have in the studio with me actress, comedian, and the legendary Monique. How are you, sister?
Good morning, Rashad. Good morning, Miss Sophia.
Hey, girl. What's going on? Monique, why you lay out Charlamagne like that on the Breakfast Club?
Rashad, don't you do that.
I'm just saying.
Don't
though.
you do that. We did not lay our brother out. What Sydney and I did was just had a real honest conversation with our brother. Our intent wasn't to lay him out, check him, put him in check. It was just to have an open and honest conversation.
You always come from a place of authenticity. I shared that with you before the show. And Charlamagne, in my opinion, sometimes he be on that BS. And you weren't playing his game. You were speaking from a place of truth. And because of how that translates, obviously, in front of folks, that was the perception. I don't think you did it to one-up him. I don't think you were trying to be sensational. When people called my show and talked about it, I said, that sister was being Mo. That's Monique. That's 100 all the way. It wasn't anything other than that. Sydney, thank you, brother, for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Y'all looking sharp, man. What y'all? You know this radio, right?
That's it.
That's all.
Y'all came in.
We got to do it for each other, baby.
There you go.
it.
Doing it for each other.
That's what we had to do it for.
Miss Sophia, where you get that wig from, man?
This is not a wig, this is my hair.
Okay, all right. Miss Sophia was changed. I don't know what was going on, Miss Sophia, yesterday. I walked past B103, and she was switching out wigs yesterday.
I was putting my hair up.
That's
I
what
had
it's
it
called?
down, then I put it up.
Okay.
It looks
Switch
beautiful.
wigs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got a lot of nice wigs.
You keep saying wigs, you're going to get busted. It's supposed to be about love today.
And Miss Sophia, listen, for those who are listening right now, you don't want to try Miss Sophia on any day. Period. You're going to have a bad day, brother. 404-892-2703. Okay. We're here today to take your questions about relationships. Before I get into that, Monique and Sydney, you guys have a unique situation. Now, I say unique because of what's traditional and what's taught. For you guys, it's freedom, it's non-restrictive, and we had that conversation offline. For those who may not know about the freedom in your relationship, can you explain to the listeners?
You want to take it, baby?
Baby.
You know, I remember I was doing an interview with Jill Scott. This was years ago, right? With Essence magazine. And I came out that I was in an open relationship. And people were like, oh my God, is Monique crazy? I can't believe she would allow that man to do that to her, and she gonna let him just do whatever he want. And what nobody knew at the time, that it wasn't my husband's idea. It was mine. Because back then, Rashad just looked up like, wait a minute now.
Whoa.
Right, it was not my husband's idea. Everyone assumed that this was Sydney's idea. It was my idea because at the time, I was going into my third marriage. And I knew in my first and second marriages, I always believed in Sophia, whoever made the money made the rules. And I've always been the sister who's made the money in the relationships I've been in.
Okay.
So I've always called the shots. So by Sydney being my best friend since we were 14 years old, this was the man I called up when I was cheating on the other husbands.
You don't get it in like that? Oh, Monique, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Well, because this
Not
has been...
called up and we were together, but called up to say, this is where I am.
Right.
Okay.
Because this has been like my brother since the 10th grade.
Wow.
So now when we come to a place where we're going to be in a relationship, I had a conversation with my best friend. And I said, listen, I want to have the freedom to still be able to sleep with other men if I so choose to. And my best friend looked at me and said, Mama, that has nothing to do with me and you. And if that's something that you want to do, I can't stop you from doing that. But you understand if you can do it, I can too. And then my feelings got hurt because that's not what I meant. Now I can do it, but you can't now, okay? I got the money. That was my mentality.
Okay.
Those were my thoughts.
This was back when?
This was what, almost 13 years ago?
Okay.
13 years ago.
Wow.
Until it got to a place where it was no longer about that. It was just being open to no secrets. Open to, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm saying, this is what I'm thinking. It was open to, we didn't want to leave this earth having any regrets of what we didn't share with one another. If that makes it make sense.
Sydney, let me ask you, it does make sense. There's a freedom there in your relationship. Sydney, when she came to you years ago and said, hey, I want to do me, you accepted that, but you also insert, you want to do you.
What I inserted was because I know before there was money and before anything, the person that you see now is the person that she was then, which meant that I want to do what I want to do, but I'm reluctant to have that reciprocated. So I'm like, okay, because, you know, at times throughout our relationship, she's graduated from the Bonham and Bailey School of Clownery.
Don't do it. Don't say that, Daddy.
Yeah, the Bonham and Bailey School of Clownery. So when you know that and you've been best friends since you were 14, there's a level of understanding that you have. But like any other relationship, I think what was unique is the fact that we started off as best friends. And it was kind of like Trump, or what was implied. It seemed almost incestuous when we first got together. We were feeling each other out because we could share anything and everything with one another. We had an apartment together, well, a house together. She stayed above me. I was beneath her. I'm like, was that two rhinoceroses that I heard the other night? That was, and she said, was that someone calling your name last night? I was asleep. And so this is, so to have a conversation where this individual says, this is what I want, it's like, I'm not black, I'm OJ.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
We cap on the other side. Okay, 404-892-2703. We're in the studio. We got the phone lines are open. Actually, they're already jam-packed. So you got to listen for me to clear a line and call in immediately, and I will make you part of the conversation. Whatever question you may have for Miss Sophia, Monique, Sydney,
Rashad,
or myself. You know, I'm the guru of what not to do because I've done it all.
So you're the expert, so you have all the information that they need.
For the most part. You still getting real with the realest man on radio. News at Talk 1380 WAOK. Did you get the beginning of it?
I think so. I'm stuck on the right now. I'm sorry.
But did you get the beginning?
Okay, this is what I got.
How many minutes?
Boy, I love it.
How did you didn't get the
No,
beginning?
take a picture. So I'll send you what I have.
Well, what did this? No, just do this one, but start from the beginning. I want a whole segment because I can't cut
I remember that.
all that.
I remember that matrimony. I was like, what?
Like, did he run
And
from
then
the back
he came
room
upstairs.
and then to the big, like, what happened?
Don't do it.
Uh-oh.
Don't do it.
We got some questions. Okay. Dewana says, I'm in a new relationship. How much should we lean on each other? How much should we lean on a person financially, physically, and emotionally? Okay, we're new. But, all right. So that's one. Let's see. Okay. I'm in a great relationship, but would like to explore other men. I'm a 30-year-old woman, but my boyfriend is traditional. I love him, but don't want to cheat. So we'll handle that on the other side. And we got some callers.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one.
Where 17 people were shot and killed on Valentine's Day.
We're on playerradio.com. Do you know about that? Do you know about us being on playerradio.com? Do you know about this, Nicole? Playerradio.com? Miss Sophia, do you know about playerradio.com? Okay. All right. Well, obviously, we're on player.radio.com. Whatever that is.
Yeah, that's like radio.com.
What's the, I assume so. What's the player part of it?
They play it.
It's just a live stream.
But radio.com is a live stream. One of the professors is listening to me through playerradio.com. Do y'all know about player.radio.com? I've never heard of them.
Baby, we don't know a lot.
I know, right?
I still got a BlackBerry.
Okay.
Bro, let me tell you something. I would still have a BlackBerry if it wasn't damn near illegal. Let me tell you, man. I used to be the head of the Democratic Party. I was the chief strategist and director for the Democratic Party. I love my BlackBerry. Right? I took my BlackBerry out at a board meeting. There's a whole lot of white folks sitting around in suits, a lot of them real old. I took out this BlackBerry. These white folks paused. All looked down this table. You would have thought I pulled out a crack pipe. Okay? Oh, sorry. You still have a BlackBerry? I'm talking about I had the one with the letters on it. Don't talking about?
Yeah, the one I got in my pocket.
That's the one, bro. You got the original BlackBerry. I love it. Why change the BlackBerry?
Why?
What was wrong with the BlackBerry?
What was wrong with the flip phone?
Really, nothing.
Okay, because that's what I still
and it was
appreciate.
still cool as hell, too.
Till my flip phone just stopped answering and you ain't even flip it. Look, she'll be like, Mama, I can hear you.
Right.
Mama.
Rashad,
Bruh.
the S is missing.
Right.
Okay.
You can get that repaired easily.
That's it.
That was my favorite phone of all time.
Daddy, then you're going to display it too.
Yeah,
Show 'em,
probably.
baby.
I carry a Walkman to the gym. I got a Walkman with the Discman. That's what I use.
I don't know about that. I can't go that far.
That's what I do.
But you know you can put it in your phone and just listen to you.
That's what they say. But I only listen to one song at a time.
Okay, I got you. So you
Ladybug
good
said,
with
what
your
was
CD?
wrong with the beeper? And then you found a payphone.
Come on.
What?
That I
What?
can understand. That's convenience. That was a convenience issue. So I was okay with that.
Remember the beeper?
I
You
do.
said, I got a beep. Let me pull over.
But you needed a phone.
I used to feel so grown.
With the
when I
beeper.
had my beep and that beeper go off, you'd be like, I gotta get to a payphone. I gotta make a call. Yeah.
So back in the day, I had a beeper. I was 15. 15, I was selling dope. I was a drug dealer. And I was in school. Beeper just beep, beep, beep. And this teacher was like, he was cool, but he knew I was on that tip. He said, sir, if you need to handle one of your clients, you need to step out of my classroom and handle that. I mean, it was just beeping. I didn't know how to put it on silent. About 2 weeks after that, I got busted for trafficking.
Wow.
And went to juvenile, went to jail, spent about a year, right? And I remember saying to myself, man, and it was still that same client who was just blowing me up. He was setting me up. It was a setup. Wow. Yep.
But they setting up a baby.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he got banged up. He got caught. And I was the fish he could trade in at that time. You know?
At 15.
At 15. I didn't snitch on nobody, so I took the time. I took the time.
I'm telling y'all right now. I couldn't do no better.
I'm telling.
Look. Ain't nobody fooling with you, John. Ain't nobody fooling with you. There ain't nobody fooling with you. Yeah, you know what you. Remember we went on the show? Hey, baby.
I heard that.
And there.
Listen,
Hey,
baby.
sweetness.
Hi, you. Good to see you.
How you doing, sir?
We haven't seen you since the preacher
We
show.
ain't seen you since the preacher show.
Yes, ma'am.
You
But
had
baby,
that
we have
conversation
been
yet?
praying for you.
You had that conversation? Right, okay. Since the preacher show.
Since the preacher
Right.
show.
How you doing, sweetness?
Good to see you.
Hey, Miss Nolan.
How are you?
Y'all good? That's it. Yeah, see, that's the one right there.
Quick photo.
How you doing, Nolan?
Monique.
Okay.
Monique.
All right.
Monique.
Yes,
Open the
come
door.
back.
Come back.
Okay.
We'll be right in front of you.
And listen to what she's trying to tell
Yeah.
you. Do more. Say less. Oh. Yes, John Gray was in the house. Y'all saw Brother John.
You said you want to say less.
It's the trainers.
Yeah.
Never miss a practice.
He said, baby, said, call me Florence Nightingale.
High school sports here in Georgia is so special. They do.
What the time look like? You haven't said it all day.
High school sports.
What time?
It's the week.
30 seconds.
Did you get that Charlamagne clip?
Yes, 19 seconds.
It's 19 seconds? Okay. Just come back with it.
Talk 1380 WAOK.
I'm fighting it.
On News and Talk 1380 WAOK.
Based off what you assumed, and then you give me a title of Donkey of the Day. Did you notice that at all? from what city in South Carolina? North Carolina. And if I was to call your mother or your grandmother, could they tell me stories of inequality that they had to deal with? Absolutely. So would your mother be a donkey? No. Would your grandmother be a donkey? No.
Got him. That's all you got to say after that. That's it. I know you weren't trying to, Monique. But that's the reaction in the hood. That's all.
Let me say this to y'all, because a lot of people oftentimes question, why I have my husband, and why is your husband at the interviews? Why is your husband at? And what people don't understand is about me. There was a time that Rashad, some people would say I had no tact because I didn't know how to say it without it stinging. I didn't know how to jump. I didn't know how to hold my aggression. It was here it comes and here it is. And what Sydney has been able to do is to nurture that part of me to say it's not about attacking. It's just about having a conversation. It's not about going in with aggression. It is about talking them through with love. So oftentimes people think that, I don't know that, what's the word I'm looking for? Where they feel like, oh, she got to bring her husband. They don't realize my husband is there, my manager's there, so I don't attack. Okay, so he keeps me back. So it's, when I was talking to Charlamagne and we were talking to Charlamagne, it wasn't to attack. It wasn't to have aggression. It was to talk to our brother in nothing but love, but to make the point, when you consider your sister donkey of the day for fighting for equality, and you're from Monk City, South Carolina, you can't tell me that your mother, your grandmother, your aunts, you can't tell me that the women in your family aren't fighting for the same thing. So that brother could never make his point. But to our hood, to our community, please understand, we don't have nothing but love for Lenard. See, I can't call him by his play name because it takes us back to elementary school. But we don't have nothing but love for Lenard.
And I think you did it in the best way possible. All right? It was, it is what it is. Okay. Every time I see both of you, you guys are so loving. And I see a lot of couples. I interview a lot of couples. I know a lot of celebrity couples. They're not on the same whatever y'all on. I'm serious. You guys are happy. You guys are happy. You guys are always communicating. It's not something you turn on for the cameras or for radio. And I just want to make that plain for those who are listening. We're going to get into these questions. Miss Sophia, you ready?
I've been ready.
Okay. All right, here's a question. All right, I'm in a great relationship, but would like to explore other men. I'm a 30-year-old woman, but my boyfriend is traditional. I love him, but do not want to cheat.
Well, I think that that person said, I'm in a great relationship, but I want to explore. So I think you need to change your statement to, I'm in a good relationship, and I want to explore. Because if you're in a great relationship, there's nothing to explore. You have everything that you need right there.
Okay, what y'all say?
Well, you know, I think that when she says she's in a great relationship, she's in a great relationship. And for her saying, I want to share my feelings about how I feel, it doesn't take away from her being in a great relationship. She's saying to her guy, or she may want to say to her guy, let me just explain my feelings to you. This is how I'm feeling. Now, because I may want to explore with another man, or we explore, whatever that thing is, that doesn't take away from their relationship. I think we've gotten to a place of ownership. When we get together, you are mine, you belong to me, and no other, you can't, nothing. We've already been owned. We've already been in a place of restriction, where you can't go, you can't do, you can't say, and if you do, something's wrong, and you'll be penalized, and this is the end. So what I would say to that sister is, don't be afraid or ashamed of your feelings.
We all come from different parts of the universe, and you can't say what someone else's life assignment is. You can only focus on yours, and oftentimes we take people and we judge them by our own personal yardstick, and it becomes difficult to do. So she can be in a great relationship and want to explore other people, but then there's the reciprocal. Are you prepared if he says the same thing for you? And then that shows the balance that you're going to have in the relationship. But it's very easy to judge from the outside what someone else is going through, but it's very difficult because you're not on the inside. So the best thing she can do is be honest with the gentleman and herself.
Yeah, or just do the traditional thing and cheat. 404-892-2703.
But that's the coward thing to do. We're going to talk about it on the other side, y'all.
We're going to talk about it. 404-892-2703. What up? We got your questions, your answers right here. And what are your thoughts about this particular person wanting to explore and the advice she's getting? 404-892-2703, realest man on radio.
Hi, this is Burrus Stella of Good Times. I listen to Real Talk with Rashad Ritchie, the realest man on Talk Radio 1380 WAOK.
Your headphones are loud as hell.
Y'all take it further, y'all and get married. You know, you see
Right,
somebody, you're going to want to explore. So it's like, when is that going to end?
Well, it depends on the two people. It
Let's
may
make
never
sure we get a
end.
drop.
It may be something that works for both.
Frank
Steve! Hello. What's going on, Franklin? What's
You need to
happening,
talk to me
baby?
like you talk to him. My sweet.
You're not him.
I'm not daddy. You ain't got to call me daddy.
No.
You ain't got to call me daddy, but at least my sweet, my honey.
Sweet.
Something. Come on now.
What's going on, Franklin?
All right. Franklin, Bernard.
Do you guys mind doing a radio drop for me before you leave out?
Not at all.
Like, people know her. I'm going to sit back.
Daddy,
Let her
we
rock
gonna
that.
I
do
think
it
I'm
for
going-
Monique in these open relationship.
Yeah, let's do one with both of y'all on it at the same time. Can y'all do
I'll
that?
be more than glad.
Thank you. And Miss Sophia, I'm gonna have you do one too.
I'm not doing it.
Miss Sophia, stop being a divo.
3 weeks, you ain't asked me to do that. I'm not
What? Because my mindset was somewhere else. What up, partner? You late, bro? Can't do that. Can't do that in the game, baby. You good though, man? You straight. Clark Atlanta University student,
How you doing, young
intern at
baby?
CBS.
How y'all doing?
Monique, Sydney, Miss Sophia.
How you doing, young brother? Nice meeting you, baby.
Let me tell you about this brother. You know I gotta tell the story. So I'm over at Clark lecturing, right? I'm about to go into the class. I see this cat walk down the stairs in the what room? What building?
We're in Cardi Merriwear.
Right.
Yeah.
He coming down. He got a full suit on. I was like, "You coming in the intern today?" He was like, "No, I'm off today." I said, "Some special event or something?" He was like, I said, "Brother, you just wear a suit to go to college?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "My man, that brother wears suits to go to college."
Because he means it.
That's right.
Because he means it. And he means
Brother
it for
was Shaw
himself.
too. I'm talking about it wasn't like he just threw on something to say he got on the suit. He put time and effort, got the
Come on.
size right.
Well, what you got on today?
Oh,
you weren't going to dress up for
It's clean. It's clean. It's Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, just messing with you, baby.
I didn't know the exact wardrobe protocol, so I played it safe.
Played it safe.
That's right.
You got that chestnut look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That baby said, yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Sophia, you in the class all by yourself. You know what? That would look pretty straight though. You about to knock me out
And I
this
like how you going great too. And not trying to run from it.
It's so crazy.
We can't run from it. I'm like, I'm not dying. I'm not doing none of that, baby. Let that thing happen. And I woke up one morning and it was just like, well, since you said it, awesome.
It's ours to be here.
And it don't gel don't
Well,
do
we
nothing.
appreciate it. We appreciate it. But that's why we got young cats like you coming up
Yeah.
that have that conscious
Michelle
mind
says-
and speak.
Michelle is lesbian. Michelle says, "Who's gonna call in first with the gay questions?" Any take, because people call in with the gay questions, so I'm like, we ain't even talking about that.
You know, I got to tell
And
you,
not focus on
we
that.
did Monique and Sydney's open relationship because he saved my life.
And that's the problem.
And it was conversations we were having in private
Remarkable.
that no one ever heard, but it was able to grow me up.
Wow.
And it was able to mature me in a way that my parents couldn't do it. This business definitely couldn't do it. And I could remember saying, and I said, Daddy, people have to hear you because it will save their lives if they're open to listening to it. because normally people just want you to get it their way. It's just my way. But he would make me answer questions that nobody ever asked me. And those answers that I was given would take me to my knees because it made me research myself in a way that I never had. I remember when I began to lose the weight, no one ever said what he said to me about this weight. Ever. And it took me to my knees, and it was like, you gonna be that honest? And he was like, you're my best friend. What else am I supposed to do? And we promised each other we would say what we needed to hear, not what we wanted to hear. And to this day, we say what we need to say, not what we want to say. And it's normally me, 99.99999. I done some shit and said something, but that show came about because he was able to get through that layer that most people can't get through. And especially now with us as black women, we've now bought into something so different. We've bought into the bag. I got to get the bag. I got to be empowered. I got to be independent. So we dropped our families off. We dropped our husbands off. Because then we wanted to go into our relationship saying, I'm equal to you. And that's what's tearing us apart, in my humble opinion. Oh! Ha! Come on.
Because they see me do it. I run right through them. I'm used to it. What up? Welcome back. 404-892-2703. It is Ask Rashad. This is Friday. Anything goes. In the studio, Monique, Sydney, B103's Miss Sophia, in the building. We got another question. Let me get to this next question. How y'all feel?
Good.
Oh, wonderful, baby. I thought she was talking to a caller.
Hold on, wait.
Oh.
Why did Miss Sophia sound extra girly on that? Miss Sophia.
Yes.
Oh, please stop. So let's do the regular girl voice. Okay.
You've got, Miss Sophia's got to be free.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got to let her kitten come out.
Okay.
See, y'all not letting that
I'm
kitten
not
happen.
free. I'm going to be reasonable.
Miss Sophia, you can keep the freedom.
Put a
All
charge
right.
on it.
All right, we got Dewana says, in a new relationship, how much should we lean on a person financially, physically, emotionally in a new relationship?
Well, when it's new, I think you should take the time out to get to know each other before you start depending on one another. Get the time out to know who we are. It's like I can't just get into a relationship on Monday and say I need my car payment on Tuesday. Well, what has happened that you think this person is responsible for anything? In the beginning, get to know one another and see where you're coming from.
And what happens in that scenario, you cheapen the interaction. Because I've been there before where I was really almost into her, like we may be able to do something for real, but then maybe 5 days later, I get a request to pay for something. Or she has an emergency and she needs me to pay for something. Not saying I wouldn't help the sister if there's a genuine need, but it makes me, and I think other people would feel the same, it makes it seem like a transaction. That if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. You can't really have a long-term relationship with something that starts off as a transaction.
Yes.
That's tough to pull off.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's a relationship. I think that's a relationship where you're expecting something. So if you go into a relationship expecting something from the other person from the beginning, then if you're on the opposite end of that, run! Run, baby! Don't wait. She just got to use you. He's just got to use you.
And it's always nice to come into a relationship whole already, so that when you have two whole individuals coming together, it creates more of a balance.
That's why people say, don't date until you at least have your stuff somewhat together, because you're coming in a relationship with so much lack. It may not really be in your heart or part of your character under normal circumstances to get money like that. It may not be you, but you're in a certain situation where it seems like that's you.
I don't know if it's necessarily don't date until you have your stuff together. Because when you get to that end of it, now you're saying, well, why are you dating me? Because now that I have my stuff together, now I have my degree, now I have my home, now I have my car, now why are you here? I think that, in my humble opinion, when two people get together, again, you go back to just being open and honest in your communication. So that way, if we first meet and he says, listen, you got a fat ass, and she says, you got a fat bank account, and we say, let's get together, we know what that is, which is a lot of relationships like that. But if you find like this young brother from Clark, Atlanta, and he finds a young sister from Clark, Atlanta, no one has any money, but we're going to build together. And if we can help each other out, so that way when we get to where that place is, we celebrate it together.
Does anyone believe in the concept somebody is good enough for another person? I've never believed in it personally. I've always said it's really about chemistry and connection. Some people try to create a hierarchy or protocol. Well, they're just too good for you, or you're too good for that person. I've heard that for years, and I've never really believed it. I think there's somebody for somebody. And if you're together, you build together. But I do think you can say things or do things in the beginning that could ruin it.
And there's no one rule that's applicable to every situation.
Right.
So, we're creating scenarios that there are certain dynamics that we may not be considering. But as it pertains to just in general, one person may have money and one person may have insight. And you put those two things together and you make something that's positive. So it's not about necessarily coming together, because we oftentimes introduce finance into matters, and we hear all the time people who are more than wealthy, but they're not happy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think to DeWanna's question, it really comes down to the stage in a relationship where the other person knows you have their back and you know they have your back. Once that is settled, financial conversations are easy, emotional conversations are easier. All of these conversations are easier when you don't think there's another agenda.
Well, I think that, though, we're being taught that it has to be a certain way, you got to feel a certain way, they got to do a certain thing. We're being taught that, and we're being fed that with a lot of our reality TV. This how it's supposed to be. If that man don't come with this, this, and this, he ain't worth your time. And so we're being fed that instead of, like you said, you know what, I was walking in the market, and I saw this brother, and we just locked eyes. I didn't ask him about his bank account, nor did he ask me about mine. When we went and had coffee, we didn't know what we did until we had the conversation. We're getting away from that. Because now you have our young babies saying, oh, he got to have that paper. Well, what if he got that paper, but he whipping your behind? Mm-hmm. And what if she got that paper, but she's nasty and mean? So we got so caught up in the paper, we've gotten away from the love. And
the connection of personality.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of it is, like you guys were saying in the beginning, it's just like, it's about the two people and their chemistry and what they build all together. And it's just like, if you're getting to know somebody, you tune out the world. So it's what you guys are building. I think that when we're going back to the question, the person was like, well, what if this person we hook up with somebody and I don't have nothing and he don't have nothing? Well, we have so many examples where those people have hooked up that didn't have anything, and then once one got something, they end up leaving the other person. So you don't want to be in that type of relationship either.
No, you don't. But again, that goes back to, you got to know who you're dealing with. And oftentimes, I remember me and Yvette Wilson had a conversation on the set of The Parkers. Mm-hmm. And she said, Monique, do you know why a lot of these relationships don't work in Hollywood? She said, look up. She said, there are no ceilings here, which means it's not real. It's all fantasy. She said, and oftentimes you meet on Monday, you date on Tuesday, you fall in love on Wednesday, you engage by Thursday, you're married by Friday, now you're separated by Monday because you never took the time out to get to know who you were dealing with. And oftentimes, for me, I'll use me as an example. Every relationship I had, other than the one I'm in right now with my husband and best friend, I didn't know any of them cats. I could not say any of them cats were my friend, not my first husband, nor my second husband. Now, me and my first husband, we've become friends, years later. But I can't sit here and honestly say I was a friend or they were a friend to me. It was, you got together, you slept together, now you're in a relationship, now things are starting to come up and you're saying, I didn't know that about you. I didn't know that about you. Well, we didn't take the time out to get to know it. We just saw, oh, well, this looked like this will be fun, let's go. So again, most of us don't even have friendships before we have relationships.
That's key. If you want to build tall, you got to build deep. You have to, or that's going to topple over quickly.
Every single time.
We got more, 404-892-2703. Callers, I see you, coming to you on the other side of the break. I got room for one more, 404-892-2703. I'm in here with Monique, Sydney, Miss Sophia, realest man on radio.
When you said that, it sounded
Why your headphones so damn loud?
because I can't hear.
Is it? Is your hair, not the wig, but the hair?
It's not the
Okay.
hair. It's just that I have a head cold. I can't hear.
Okay.
And this only has one.
One of them
side
working? Welcome to AOK. That's all I can say to that.
Your grandmother was saying the right thing, baby.
That was yours. That's not me.
But yours was like, had bass in it.
It's only one.
It's only one of them. Yeah. It's just one word.
Y'all need to invest in some good equipment.
Mm-hmm. How long you and your husband been married, Asa? ISIS, baby. What you, I can't see that.
And I can't get no signal in here.
Why you got no signal? Everybody got a signal.
Love
Y'all
you
just need
back,
to upgrade
Elmore.
y'all studio.
Paulette, hi, sweetness.
Okay. So you got checkmate on the line.
15 years strong. That's right, baby.
Checkmate. Brother, do me a favor, man. Can you call back in?
They're friends for 7
you-
years.
That's right. Call back.
Get a chance to know
No,
somebody.
call back at about.
Hey, Monique, if I email you something, can you critique that?
You want to just give it to me?
Sure. Love you back, peace.
I can read it right here in front of your face. When I married my husband, it was because there was substance. That's right. 36 years. Come on, y'all.
In other news, Jedediah Moody was supposed to be graduating high school this year. Instead, he will be.
And I think if we see more of that, if we see more of those type of couples, and like you were saying, 15 years, 20 years, what is that? Now, you always see it now. As soon as something go wrong, girl, you better go ahead and go. You be like, well, where am I going, bitch? Come over there with y'all. Damn. I know Earl messed up the money, but shit, we gonna be all right. When you told the story of James and Sydney judge you, didn't judge, what you meant to put us did not.
Right now, 44 degrees in downtown. The only thing more interesting than what you heard is what you haven't. Curious? Watch Scientology Network on DirecTV channel 320 or go to Scientology.tv. I'm Patricia Harris for News and Talk 13.
Right, I know what you meant, baby.
The national debt is now over $20 trillion.
Earl. you know everybody got an Earl. Earl and Brenda.
What will be left of your investments for your children and grandchildren? You can't fight this, not with stocks or bonds, but with gold and silver coins and an IRA from Augusta Precious Metals. During periods of great volatility, precious metals regularly outperform stocks because they're investments that have real value. During a 3-year recovery period after the crash of 2008, the Dow only went up 3.5%, while gold more than doubled in price. Call 855-858-5800.
You took on a call back a little little.
I did.
Studio.
And build a true legacy for your family. Regain control of your
Because we didn't have
financial
6 o'clock
destiny.
hour.
Augusta
Usually
Precious
6.
Metals at 855-858-5805.
So I was told, so I have to do a makeup at 10:30 and 11.
That's 855-858-5805. Isn't any investment risk?
From what I understand. Okay.
Hello, Atlanta. Thinking about selling your home, but overwhelmed at the idea of listings, showings, and all the uncertainty? It doesn't have to be that hard. Visit opendoor.com and you can request a free, no obligation offer to sell your home right to Open
How long
Door.
before we go back up?
Showings, no open houses, no hassles.
Approximately
and you decide
2.5
what you
minutes.
want. Our local
And how long
market
is this
experts based
break?
right here in
This,
Atlanta. They'll
segment?
let your
Till
home's
15?
unique features to give you a fair market
Indeed.
I
offer.
have a conference call
Thousands
at
of homeowners
11:30.
like you chose
We'll have
Open
y'all.
Door, and 9 out of 10
What have
owners
you
who sold to Open
11:30.
Door recommend us to friends and family.
Not
Their trust
in
made us one of the
Newport
fastest
and
growing
Flaming
estate
Hot.
companies in
Say that one more
Atlanta.
time.
I said not hen, fucking Newport and Flaming Hot.
Is this
My
what
man.
you putting up?
This is a set I've been doing at the open mic circuit right here.
That's excellent.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's that right there. Is that true?
Yes.
That's how you really feel?
Yes.
It makes it even better. That's some. I like it.
You know, the one thing I keep getting is it's too crass. But I'm like, but that's me. That's who I am. That's my
Yeah,
experience.
that's why you better say it because it's yours.
When that video coming, bro?
Waiting on them to send it.
Oh, thank you, Stephen.
What's your sign?
Sagittarius.
Her too.
What's your birthday?
December 6th.
December 11th.
Okay.
Keep on saying it. Okay?
Gemini over here, baby.
Libra.
Really?
Air sign.
I'm your best friend and your worst nightmare, partner.
The flip. The flip. That's right.
Because we're fire.
I'm May 24th.
Women though, we burn
But
all
air
the
signs though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Libra.
It's we're half human, half beast.
Okay, we ready to
Yeah, I
go.
like to travel.
Travel.
Yes. For what? Sultan? For Sultan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a yes.
Yes.
What up? Welcome back. You're still getting real with the realest man on radio. Always good to be with you. Hope you guys are doing great. It is Friday, the beginning of the weekend. Make sure you're safe. I want to holler at you on Monday. Be safe. In the studio, Monique, Sydney, B103's Miss Sophia. Let's go to the callers. I got Todd in Atlanta. Todd, good day. Welcome. Yep.
Hey, Ty.
Hey, hey.
Yes.
That could be a part of it, but I also think that a lot of the problems that come into relationships when people bring other people outside of their relationship into their relationship. It's just like if you two are working on this thing, then it has to be you two that are, working on when it's good and when it's bad. And one thing that I learned when I was in my relationship, after I ended a couple of relationships, I sat down and I thought about what was it about my relationships that was similar. And one thing that I found out about my relationships were all of my partners that I was hooking up with, they came from single parents households. And I was coming from a two-parent household. So that way, us growing up, I saw love differently than they saw love growing up. And so once I thought about that thing, then I was able to open up to their way of loving. Because I always thought that, seeing two people loving each other growing up, this is what love is. But you have to take into consideration that somebody didn't grow up the same way you did. So you have to allow them to love you the way that they saw love growing up.
That goes to my question. If you had a different definition of love than what they had of love, but the two of you were able to use strict elementary language in defining what your definition of it was, it would make it much easier to move forward rather than waiting for examples. You have to figure out examples without dialogue about the definition of the first place.
But you see, in the meantime, when you're in the relationship, you don't know that you guys have two different definitions of love. You're thinking that you have the same definition of love. Right.
Todd, let me ask you this, sir. Are you in a relationship? How long you been in a relationship? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, good luck to you. I appreciate your call, Todd. No, no cheap shots today. I got company in the house today, man. Yeah, holler at me next week. I got something for you. But the truth is, when we talk about relationships and love, there's an interpretation factor and there's an expression factor. And all of us are a combination of 3 E's: experience, exposure, and environment. So that could look very different from one person to the next. 404-892-2703. Davis writes, this was about the conversation earlier. David says, great answer. Like it or not, monogamous relationships don't last long when folk aren't ready to be that way. Love is great. However, it doesn't mean you will never desire another person. I believe you should be honest with your partner, married or not, prior to you cheating. Allow them some dignity to decide for themselves if they want to continue to be in the relationship with you. Sometimes things will be clearer when it's said out loud. You may understand what you will lose and reconsider your lustful desires. If not, your partner is free to move on to someone who wants to be monogamous. What say you to that?
He's absolutely right. I mean, it's having, again, we keep going back to having the conversation. We keep going back to the same thing. And like he said, if we have the conversation, if I would have said that to Sydney and he said, you know what, Mama, that's not something I'm into. Mm-hmm. I appreciate us having a conversation, but that's not something that I'm going to do. Now, I got a decision to make, as well as he has a decision to make. But we had the conversation.
But I think that's what a lot of couples are lacking. They don't have that conversation before they go and cheat. So it's just like you're making the decision for yourself and the other person. And then when they find out about it, that's what makes things complicated.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Daddy. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say the absurdity of it is then those same people will speak to you in reference to having an open relationship while, unbeknownst to them, they're in an open relationship, but they just weren't told that they were.
Right, exactly.
Bam.
All right. Drew says, interesting thought about the comment I just read. Interesting thought, but people aren't that honest or brave. All right, let's go to some of the callers. We have Andy in Marietta. Andy, good day. Welcome. Good morning, Andy. How are you? Yes, sir, I did. Mm-hmm. Yep. So let me tell you. So Andy, listen. Hold on. For those who may not know the story, I think I was probably 19 when this happened. I didn't have a lot of money, but I had a lot of women. I had 3 women that I was dating at the time. Okay, I used to be a dog. I was dating these 3 women, beautiful sisters, and I had a homeboy that worked at a restaurant. So my homeboy got a 50% discount. He could take 50% off the bill. So I came up with the bright idea to take these sisters to the same restaurant. I just spaced it out. 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Had plenty of time in between. That was my Valentine's Day situation. The last young lady I took to the restaurant, she went to the restroom, she came back and threw water all on me in front of everybody. And the reason is because when she went to the restroom, the manager, who didn't know about the situation, the manager pulled her to the side and said, you are the 3rd woman this brother done brought to the restaurant. And explained to her everything. So she came through. And here's the really sad thing about it. The one I brought at 8 o'clock, that's the one I really liked. Out of all 3. I really liked that one. But I was young, dumb, and full of you-know-what, playing the game, and it burnt me real bad. Now, her and I are friends today, and we talk every now and then. We hit each other up on Facebook. but it would never be anything else. She was very hurt, and obviously I was hurt when I realized what I lost. So it didn't work out for me, Andy. The lying did not work, sir.
But he
what
didn't
did you
answer your
eat?
question. He asked you.
Oh, well, he
had popcorn.
So, no, let me tell you, I was actually able to order regular food. I mean, I ordered an entree each time. I didn't eat all of the entree. I do remember having some leftovers when I was going home that night. I think I threw it away. I was heartbroken because of what happened. But yeah, I ordered regular entrees as if I didn't want any questions, man. I didn't want anyone to ask me any questions about why you're not eating on Valentine's Day. All right?
And you know why he went through that, Monique?
Why so?
Because he didn't have the conversation.
Because he did not have the conversation. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that would not have went well either. So.
How do you know, though? How do you know it wouldn't have gone well?
Not back then. It would not have went well if I told all three, hey, this is the situation. This is what I'm doing today. I'm dating 3 women. I'm 19. I'm young. It is what it is. I would have went from 3 dates to 0 dates.
Well, you're being too specific.
I don't have to be that specific, DJ Donnell.
But you know, I think what you said is part of the problem that folks have as to why they don't have a conversation, because they project what it is that the conversation is going to end up saying.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, people live their whole lives under the same opinion, but they never shared that opinion with one another. So they live their whole lives doing something that they assume that the other would like. Had they had a conversation, they would know what each other would like.
And I will tell you this, later in life, when I turned 30, I'm 36 now, when I turned 30, it was okay to date multiple women as long as you're honest about this is what I'm doing. And I used to say, I'm a healthy dater, okay? So I want to tell you the truth. I said that. That was my line. But it was completely truthful. And when things emerged and there was a commitment conversation, and if I agree with the commitment, I did it the right way. I would not step outside of that commitment because now that's my word. But I didn't learn that until later in life. All right? You know what we got.
He playing.
Man, is that Bobby Brown? What up? Hey, my baby. Man.
Some star-studded development today.
I'm not even playing, y'all. Bobby Brown just walked past the studio pointing at us.
Yes, he did.
Like,
pointed at me.
No, he was pointing at everybody. He was pointing at us.
To us.
Because he thought I was Whitney.
Oh, no.
He had on some real dark glasses.
You are right.
To get that confusion.
So that made
and he lost the sight in his right eye and half of it in the left eye. If he thought.
Well, if you put it like that, then he was pointing at y'all.
All right, you know what happens. 15 minutes. Bobby came in here like he about to go to work. He just walked through here.
You better come off this contest before you lose your job.
Exactly.
Let's get it. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
You know what happens 15 minutes after the hour. #Moneybag Shouting. This is a serious moment. Because if you mess this part up, you're playing with my money. Now, I do this because I want to bless you. Hallelujah. Take out your cell phone.
Yes.
Text the keyword GLOW.
Yes.
GLOW. GLOW to 72881. GLOW to 72881 for your chance to win $1,000 on WAOK. It's not about if somebody will win. It's about who. Because the money is going to somebody. Realest man on radio. Councilwoman.
All right, I have to go get people. Can we get a picture?
Let's do it, Miss Sophie.
Okay.
Here with Bobby.
Going over there with Bobby.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to get behind us?
Yeah, her and I text last night. But I did.
Huh?
Go ahead.
I'm going to do it.
Right.
Come on, Michelle.
Right, because I get off air at 1 p.m. And so I think she ended up calling the station after 4 o'clock. I was on the news at that time. And she sent me a text message, and I told her, I'm off at 1. But the other number, I was waiting on the other number from the second homeowner that needed help. I got one.
that, do you smoke?
Okay.
Do you ever wake up with headaches? And are you overweight? You need to go to Fremont Dental to see if
I agree. I agree 100%. And I can bring them on the air if they're willing to come on air on Monday to whatever day they can come on, right? And we'll do a fundraiser for them that day, and we'll raise some good money for them. Okay? Yeah, just let me know when you guys coordinate the families. I'll reach out to them if you want me to reach out, but we'll bring them on the air next week. Thank you. Okay. Bye.
And be sure to tell them that DB sent you.
Come on, Sean. Act funny.
You doing one? Them bottles be killing it. I mean, got on some workout shorts and she looked up.
Right.
One, two. Silent Ninja, look at the camera. 1, 2. You have one more? What's your favorite smile? Perhaps? 1, 2.
Okay, this way. One more. 1, 2, 3.
From your furnace. How long before any of your systems and appliances die?
It's you.
Okay, here it is. And
Leaving
one
you
more.
with a huge bill
1,
homeowners
2,
insurance won't
3.
cover. Be sure your budget's protected with an American Home Shield home warranty.
All right, that's yours. That's your phone. You'll send that to me. Send that picture to me. Appreciate it. Good luck in your conference call.
That is in that picture.
You send. You got my number. You got my cell.
All home systems and appliances done.
You ready?
Be sure your budget's
Yeah,
protected.
my cell's right there. Please send it right there. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, baby.
Gene.
Why do you look so familiar?
I don't know, but it's weird because you kind of remind me of my aunt. Like, yeah, you got the same skin, like you got some really smooth skin, just like her. Yeah.
Thank
But
you.
Can I ask y'all a question, like relationship advice? So, I was married for 2 years. I got married my first year of college, and pretty much like my wife and I, we went through everything together. Like, parents didn't want us to get married, and we finally we moved forward with it, we did it. And then this past year, we separated. This is a long story, but pretty much like, I'm still struggling with that because now we're in stages of getting a divorce, and I want to know, like, how do you move forward? Like, how do you grow and not take all that baggage with you? And I don't know, just build yourself.
Bro, why don't you step outside? Call the show. That's good. That's good radio talk.
It is. So that baby needs to come get on that microphone right there and ask your question.
You want to ask a question? You ready?
Yeah, sure.
You do it?
And how beautiful of you to open up your heart like that.
Yeah.
How old are you, Bob?
I'm 22.
Oh, the first thing you need to do is have sex with as many people as you can.
Don't do it.
So how long were you married?
No.
You were married for 2 years?
Stay away from this
She's
child.
with a buck. 22.
My wife, she had an affair. So, and
Bruh.
it was while I was online,
Online what?
when I was pledging.
Who she had the affair with? Who did she have the affair
Well,
with?
does that make a difference with y'all?
If it's somebody
It was a guy.
that he pledging with.
No.
Oh, okay. That's why I thought he put that in there, because it was like, I'm pledging and they sleeping with old girl.
It was this guy.
For private conversation. Just hold on.
Wait for it. I don't
Just-
want to put it.
You don't want to put it out there?
Just
Because I don't want to make her look bad.
They ain't gonna know. They don't know you
you.
now.
And she can't look bad.
That's a
She
damn
can't
lie.
look bad.
Yeah.
Right. And real talk.
What she did.
This is a question sometimes that we avoid asking when our girlfriends say, "Girl, can you believe that Chucky cheated on me?"
Mm-hmm.
And then your real girlfriends have to say, "Well, what happened?" And then sometimes we'll have the BS conversations, and we won't have the real conversations
Right.
to say, "Every time Chucky come home, you look like shit."
Mm-hmm.
Every time Chucky want to know what's for dinner, there's nothing.
What name you want?
Every
for it?
time Chucky want to have a conversation,
Leo, I guess.
Just Leo?
Yeah.
You know, so it's sometimes it's when that occurs, it's like, well, what was going on in the household? Well, I don't care. He still shouldn't have cheated. It's like, well, wait a minute. Real conversation. If you're giving this man absolutely nothing.
All right, come on.
So.
There we go.
What up? Welcome back. 404-892-2703. That gets you the conversation. 404-892-2703. Still in the studio with Monique and Sydney, Miss Sophia. Had another appointment. But one of the young men who works around me, he had a relationship question. So he started to pose the question during the commercial break. I said, brother, pause on that and let's go ahead and talk about it openly. And so we're opening up the airwaves. I don't know the full extent of his relationship issue. I know the genesis of it, but he will explain it in full. So I got Leo. Leo, you had a question about relationships. So let's get to it.
So, hi y'all. How y'all doing? My question pretty much relates to how do you move on after going through such heartache and pain in a relationship? Because I was married for 2 years from my first year in college, and my marriage, pretty much fell apart in the last year. It had to do with person I was with, my wife, stepping out on me, and it was a person that was on our campus that she had, cheated with, and it was very broadcast, and in a way it I lost a lot of my confidence, and it was just really out there in a bad way. And what hurt so much was that it was somebody, my wife was my first love, my first true love, first person that I actually loved, and it's so hard to be able to trust people now, to the point where I question everybody's, deed, like whether they did something authentically or whether they did it to get something out of me. And I don't see relationships like I used to, as far as I feel like everybody has something to gain now out of dealing with somebody, and I don't want to stay like that. I don't want to have that affect me going into the next relationship, because there's another person that really cares about me and has shown me so much love these past few months, and has been there for me, has given me stuff when I needed it and I was at my lowest, and I don't want to carry that same baggage into this relationship, but I still know I need to grow myself. So I want to know what you guys have to say, pretty much.
And before you answer that, I just want to say, I know Leo, this is a good brother.
Oh, you can just tell.
This is a good brother. And it is her loss, period. This is her loss. And I can feel that pain. I can still feel the love you have for her right now in your heart. That pain is real, just as real as your love for her is today. And I'm not in a marriage. I have not experienced that lately. I do know what it's like back in the day. I remember what that felt like. So, Sydney, Monique?
Well, a couple things. First, appreciate you being so honest.
Yeah.
Secondly, one of our mantras on the show is the mind is like a parachute. It's no good unless it's open. And we say that because if you want to release what you've experienced to some degree, though there's a part you should hold on to because that knowledge is beneficial. To be able to appreciate what you have now, there's a level of openness that you have to it. But it's also the reason why they say it's good to have understanding versus being understood, because when you have understanding, you begin to realize that why she may have done what she had done has nothing to do with you, or it may have had everything to do with you. It's only something that you can assess for yourself. And when you say it's her loss, Rashad means that in the highest of ways, but the reality is, if she's the quality person that you felt she was, she's not necessarily not still the same quality person because of that mistake. So essentially, it's both of your loss. But you have to assess, is this something that you're ready to let go of? Because she's cheated does not make her the lowest of the low. What it makes her is a human being.
I mean, in between everything that happened, it was as if the minute I said I wanted to really think about things, she went with the guy that she had an affair with, and then he confronted me about trying to work things out with my wife. And at that point, I knew I lost her, because it wouldn't have came to that. She wouldn't have chose his side over me if she really still loved me.
Let me go back to something. He approached you?
He approached me, yeah.
About your wife?
Yes. And he told me to back off pretty much.
Yeah, he would have got these hands.
Yeah.
He would have got them hands all day long. Now, I'm glad you didn't do that.
Took a lot.
I'm sure it did. Now, all of this is happening. You got to understand the contextualization. This brother's in college.
Right.
The other cat is in college too?
Yes.
Is she in school?
Yes.
Same campus?
Well, he goes to the adjacent campus.
Okay.
More.
Okay.
But what this baby is saying, though, is they were all being human. That's what happened. People were just being human beings. And I'm going to speak from a woman's point of view that has messed up, that has made mistakes, that has been in a position where Sydney could have looked me in my eye and said, I can't play this. I can't do this with you. Right? So I'm talking from a woman's point of view that if your wife is saying it's done, it's over, I don't want to do it, that's one thing. But sometimes we are quick to throw away what is quality and what is something beautiful and what is something good because of what it looks like to the outside, what it looks like to the other people on the campus, what it looks like to your mama who told you not to marry that girl, what it looked like to her mama because she. But if the two of you, only y'all know that pillow talk. Only you know what that woman did for your heart, and only she knows what you did for hers. So even if the man approached, who approached, if the two of you say, we're going to walk through it, walk through it. If the two of you say, we got to shut this chapter, shut the chapter. But keep your heart open. Because that other sister, she's getting ready for you like you're getting ready for her if the one you already had is not the one.
Wow. Great advice. Let me ask you before you go, was part of the hurt because so many people knew about it?
The part of the hurt was that people had come to me about it and I defended her.
Yeah.
And she lied to me for like a year about the whole thing.
So people trying to tell you she's not being honest about her commitment to you. Yeah.
And I confronted her, and then it all comes out in the worst way.
Yeah.
And then too, 22 years old.
Yeah.
Your mind ain't even finished developing. You got a few more years for your mind, for your brain even stop developing.
Yeah.
So 22. So keep that in mind. When I was 22, baby, I was nervous. But I was 22.
And you were in an open relationship. They just didn't know about it.
They didn't.
They didn't know about it. You knew about it.
Sid knew about it. But
Sid and you knew about it. Brother, big ups to you, man, for being so honest and transparent. You're my homie. You're my friend. If you need anything, you know I'm here. All right?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Man on radio.
That's an auntie.
It's all right. Let it out, brother. It's all right. Let that out.
You call that bitch up and play on the phone.
I defy you to get a better hug than that. I defy you.
I can feel it.
And the brother's starting off right. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just imagine
attorney.
This is not just raw data.
He's
This is
becoming the
innovation.
person that he's going to be.
That's right. See, this is all shaping.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Oh.
Man.
Now, hold on, you want to go over to the campus when we leave here?
I know, right? We're gonna ride on this. We got to ride on her, man. Thank you.
She don't know me. She know you. She don't know you.
But keep that sensitivity, keep that spirit, because there's going to be somebody that appreciates that,
and they're gonna protect it too.
They're going to protect it.
Yeah, and that's what I felt like. I was like, should I change who I am? Like,
No.
I was like, am I too? Am I like?
Nah.
Was it something
But
that
see,
I do?
you're going to attract the right one because of who you are, but you have to keep being you. You start being somebody else, you're going to attract the wrong every single time. Like, this was a swing and a miss, maybe, okay? But what you don't want to do is strike out. And I promise you, if you transform who you are, you're going to end up striking out. Okay?
After they ride out, we hit the
We all 22 today, baby.
Yo,
Man,
baby,
appreciate
thank
you, brother. Thank you for
stay
that.
beautiful. You stay beautiful.
Oh, man.
Look, they still talking about when is the campus. Now we're going down there. That's the only thing with having sons.
Just before y'all started talking about riding out.
And
okay.
I, as a mother, I've not yet dealt with them having their first love. You know, so I don't know who I'm going to be when they deal with their first love, if they should get their heart broken. I'll be like, okay, Paulette, fill the car.
So don't ever lose.
We got to ride over.
Right now.
Well, it's because of our misconception of what manhood
That's
is.
right.
Because we can't control what someone else chooses to do, because it's the equivalent of you giving somebody a diamond encrusted watch that has no value for diamond encrusted watches. It doesn't devalue the watch. It just means that they have no value for.
They can't place the value in it.
So she didn't see the diamond that was in you, and that's okay.
That's the thing, like. I still, like, you talk to the did. I don't think her as a bad person.
Right. And I don't think you should.
Right.
You know, I
But
don't
that's
think
a
you
healthy
should.
attitude to take.
Yeah. I would think you're a bad person.
You know,
that's just me,
I'm
though.
sure when the other young sisters talk about you, you know what they say about you? He's the kindest guy I've ever met.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they say about you. Because you have the energy of my husband.
Yeah.
And my husband is the kindest guy I've ever met. But he's been there since we've been in 10th grade.
Yeah.
So keep that with you. Because that type of energy, the woman you do get, you'll nurture her into a place that she couldn't even imagine being nurtured into.
Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, we got more questions, y'all. Y'all are great at this. This is good.
This is my boyfriend.
Exactly.
This is my boyfriend.
Y'all ready?
We go together.
Okay. Welcome back. You still getting real with the realest man on radio. I got Monique, Sydney still in the building. Got another question, relationship question. This comes from Wanda. Wanda writes, I have a friend who's been in my life since high school. Sounds familiar? And he has recently expressed an interest in being more than a friend. My late husband was my friend too. But for some reason, this feels different. I love him to death, but it just feels like he's my brother. How do I get past that?
Do it to him. No. Okay.
Oh, lay it on him, girl.
Take it back.
She said, do it to him.
She playing, but she was real.
Okay.
Y'all had a similar situation, though.
We did. And Daddy, I'm going to take it first. Okay, so when Sid and I got together, right?
Physically.
Physically.
Okay.
And I was going over for dinner, right? He said, come on over for dinner. Let's get together. This is my brother. All right, I'm on my way, you know. But before I went over there for dinner, I had a party at my house. And I was taking a shower, and he was upstairs in the bathroom with me, which was nothing out of the norm. We were roommates. We lived together. So for him to see me naked was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got out the shower, I was going to Essence the next day, Essence Festival, right? I get out the shower, I'm over by the sink, and I'm drying off, and he says, all right, yo, hit me when you get back from Essence. I said, okay. Well, normally, we kiss on the cheek, but this kiss was my cheek and a little bit of my lip.
Did you do that on purpose?
Well, see, her memory of that.
No, Daddy, no.
Okay.
No.
She been saying it for years. I kissed her right on the cheek. I kissed her on the cheek, but okay.
But you're saying it caught a little bit of the mouth.
It caught a little bit of the mouth, for
I
sure.
know, come
Now,
on, sis, we all know that trick.
It was a party at my house.
What it was.
I may have had a cocktail, okay, and felt like it was my lips.
Or wanted it to be your lip.
I don't know.
Okay.
See, I don't know, because that kiss felt
different.
That's my brother, but it did feel different. The energy in that moment felt different, and neither one of us really knew what to do with that.
Well, also put it in context too. It was a situation that you were in that there was a level of appreciation that you felt that you weren't experiencing, and I was like, that sounds crazy. Just holler at me when you get back, because you shouldn't have to go through that.
So you were being there for her. She was going through something.
But in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm not going to reveal my hand at this junction. But I had dinner already planned for when she got back that I was going to prepare for. That's why I'm not going to sneak it with a kiss and try to, reveal what's getting ready to go on. But I had that set up for when
But you knew you wanted to go somewhere else with it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, how did you accept? See, Monique figured stuff out. How did you accept that? Because there's a transition that this woman is talking about in this note. She likes him, but looks at him like a brother. Yeah.
And for years, that's who Sydney was. He was my brother. He was the person I called when life was crazy, different, upside down. I called my brother. So when I came back and we had dinner at his house that night, he read me a poem. And this...
Wait a minute, brother. Hold on. Sydney.
Oh, he's been writing poetry forever.
You are laying it on thick.
No, but this is who he is.
This is what he does. Okay.
But it was a pornographic poem.
Yeah. So
she didn't tell you.
Right, okay.
It was laced with filth.
It had some things in it, right? And, so we've been friends for a lot of years, but now
we
got to this place and it appears that your ass is round. Okay, so it was this beautiful poem. Yeah. After that poem, we got together.
Mm-hmm.
And we've that night, mm-hmm. And we've never been apart since that night. Now, what was funny was we didn't know how to hold hands. We didn't know how. We would be in the car, and his hand would be like, we would be real close, and we would pull back apart, like, what are we doing? Like, something's wrong with this. This is not right. You're my brother. You know my secrets. You know all the men, and I know your girlfriend, and at the time, like, what's mm-hmm. happening? But then, because we were best friends, it just happened. We didn't question it. We didn't,
it's called one day at a time.
Okay, Daddy.
And it's the evolution of a relationship that, when we got together, we were 36. Now we're 50. Mm. So, coming from being together as friends since you were 14. So, it was, if I wanted to go to McDonald's, we always went to Popeyes because that's where she wanted to go. Yeah. That's how we grew up. So it's one of those things when she was speaking about earlier when she presented the idea of the open relationship, it was, okay, I know how you get down. This has to be mutual. Are you comfortable with that? So when you get to where we are right now in our relationship, one would say, well, where does that open relationship lead to? It's the evolution of being able to have a conversation that has absolutely nothing to do with sex with other people because we spending time at our children's baseball game or jiu-jitsu or you dealing with schoolwork and living life and trying to be freedom fighters at the same time. Mm. So it's not about anyone else because it's really time for her and I and our children, and we want to hold on to our children as long as we can.
Sure.
Because once they go, we hanging out.
Yeah.
We kicking it.
Yeah.
To talk to that sister too when she says he feels like my brother.
That's the best.
I understand that, and it is the best, because this man sitting to my left, he's my husband, he's my lover, he's my best friend, he's my brother, he's my boy, that's my girl, that's everything, every hat that a man could wear for a woman.
And vice versa. And vice versa.
So when people question me, and they say, especially right now, what's going on, and it brings me to tears, because oftentimes we don't honor our men, and we don't speak about how great our men are and the admiration. I admire my husband. I honor my husband. I am so out of control in love with this man that when people say, it's your husband, and I want to say, you damn right, it's my husband. And why are you so afraid to say it's yours? So when I'm sitting with this man, and I'll say to that sister that's been with that man, and that's like her brother, he's protected me my whole life. From childhood, and right now I'm a 50-year-old woman, and that man has had a protection over me that's unexplainable. So if you feel like that man is just your brother, we can't make you have chemistry with nobody. Like if you just don't have it, we get it. But if you know that's your brother and there's some chemistry there, it's the best ever. Because this is a person, when you go to bed at night, you go to bed knowing they know me.
Wow. We need Monique to start training some of these sisters out here in these streets.
Well, it's not Monique. See, it's not me. And this is when people had a problem too. I've been trained, if that's the word. I've been trained and I've been nurtured by this man that I call daddy. And when sisters say, why do you call him daddy? Because he's nurturing me in a way that my biological father never did. He's raising me in a way that my biological father never did. So I think if more of us looked at our husbands and we said daddy and we honored and admired, the divorce rate wouldn't be so high. We'll see y'all on the other side.
Wait, Mo.
Hold on, Frank Ski just walked in.
I got a guest that wanted to see you.
Well, Frank, let me see him. Hey, my baby!
Yo, listen, you gotta come on the microphone. You gotta come in Periscope. Come here, say something on the microphone. All right, so I told, when I said Bobby Brown was actually in here, he's actually in here. We got more on the other side. I got so many callers. Phone lines are jam-packed. Hold the number. Listen for me to clear a line. 404-892-2703. Bob, can you say something on the mic just real quick? Good to see you, homie. How you doing? Bro, always good to see you, man. Come on, sit down next to me. We'll hold on that music for a second. My brother, how you doing, bro?
I'm wonderful, man.
Good to see you, man.
I can't complain. If I do,
bro, and listen, I haven't prepped anything. I just saw the brother earlier today walking through, and I said, y'all won't believe Bobby Brown just came through here and pointed at everybody. Bobby Brown, what's going on, man?
Ain't nothing. You know, just working.
How you doing, good sir?
You know, I'm here in Atlanta. Shooting my biopic for BET, the Bobby Brown story.
Yep.
And just here, you know, and just being comfortable.
You know we love you, right, bro?
Love you.
That's just real. We've always, no matter what, we've always held you down. We've always had love for Bobby Brown in your name.
I appreciate it.
Man, it's good to see you.
You are our superhero in our community.
I'm the Black Panther?
You the Black
Panther. Baby, let me tell you something. You better than the Black Panther.
I got a tattoo on my arm like 30 years ago.
See, the Black Panther is a comic character. Bobby Brown is real.
Yeah, that's right.
And what you showed our community, we didn't care how many times they made it appear if you fell down, if you fell over, if you got knocked down. Boy, you was going to make me say something on it. And you kept coming back. You kept standing up. You kept showing up. So in our community, you are our superhero, Bobby Brown.
Thank you.
Baby.
I was raised by a black mother.
Come on.
A black woman that was strong, that raised 7 kids. You know, so for me, that's everything. You know, that's where my strength comes.
That's real, man.
When I read your book, and if y'all have not gotten Bobby Brown's book, you're doing yourself a disservice. I could not put that book down.
Thank you.
Because it was so honest. and you loved our sister through it. You loved your family through it. But I got a question for you, and this is from my heart. Why in the hell I'm not playing your mama? Because we talked about it. I called you up. We talked. I don't know what that's about.
You know what?
Uh-oh.
Oh, you got me stumped. What's her name?
Sandy McCree.
Sandy McCree played my mom in the New Edition film. And she looked so much like my mother.
And she's supposed to play it now because she kicked butt in that New Edition.
She did a great job.
Yes, she did.
She is in this film and she's doing such a great job. And I would have loved to have you in film in some capacity, and it could still happen. We are still filming, still shooting. You know what I'm saying? So, don't count that down.
Oh, baby.
No, it's not over until,
Hey, if they doing your story, whoever's playing whoever is going to knock out the box because the writing is on the pages, baby. So congratulations to our brother.
So much.
We got to go to a break. Bobby, thank you, man, for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
You know we
I
support
appreciate y'all. Go to Bobby Christina, serenityhouse.org and make a donation or, donate some time. It's about domestic violence out here.
Yes.
That is really destroying our community.
Yes.
So please, Bobby Christina, serenityhouse.org.
DJ Darnell, let's get that on the social media sites. We're going to go ahead and promote it. Make a contribution. I will make a contribution today.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you for having me. I
Thank you, homie.
appreciate you guys.
Realest man on radio.
Bye, man.
That was our Bobby Brown. What?
Let's met Monique. Let's
Yeah,
get it
absolutely.
like
We got to get them in there.
Yeah.
Let's do you.
Always in the community. Mount Ephraim Baptist Church.
Right,
and the
ready?
Georgia Department of Labor.
One, two,
All right, we'll get to Monique. We'll get
This is
Monique.
where employers are actually looking to hire at Mount Ephraim Baptist Church. 1202 West
Y'all be
Market.
taking pictures like we grown. You're going to take pictures like we back in the day. What?
Oh,
There you go.
You guys might
There you
not
go.
be able to get out. Look, oh, shoot. That is hilarious. I love it.
Professional business
I need one on my phone.
What you mean? We ain't
Can I give that?
right there.
Okay. You want your phone or no?
My phone. Can you?
Why don't you take a
Do you
picture on
want
your
your-
phone,
yeah.
Bobby?
Yeah.
50's the new 20.
50 is 50.
50 is real.
Get $20 off your first month when you visit grasshopper.com/radio. That's grasshopper.com/radio.
Hi, welcome to the Pier 1 Spring Dining and Easter Sale. Oh, thank you. There's some amazing deals here on Easter
Thank you, my
decor.
baby.
Thank you.
Dinnerware, table settings. So if you have any questions, please ask
Please
someone
give
over
me
there.
just
Okay.
a moment.
A lot of people are getting caught up in the Pier 1 Spring Dining and Easter Sale.
DJ Darnell wants to too.
Of course we can.
Good, bro.
DJ Darnell, you want to take it with my phone just so it's better? One, two, three.
Try the Transcend Mini CPAP for 10
Oh, yeah. That's why I tell people I let this go, right?
So good to
Know what
see
I
you
got?
guys.
You too.
I'm so glad you guys are doing well. You guys look amazing.
My nails gonna
We love you guys. Okay,
wonderful. Look at you.
I love it. They were raw.
We doing
We
wrong.
trying, even. We trying.
What?
Y'all
Are y'all doing the wrong thing?
Yeah.
One thing you don't ever want is to be on
That's-
stage and you
that's-
get to moving.
That's next level shit, man.
Because then I'm coming.
I've been mixing hot vegetables with raw, but I lost like 26 pounds.
How long?
You've been to Loving It Live?
How long did it
Huh?
take?
A while. I lost 26 pounds maybe about
Men lose
3
weight
weeks.
fast.
Yeah.
Men.
I did the. How long did I do that vegetarian thing?
No meat you did for a month.
No meat. I did a whole
Good.
month. I did no meat
Thank
for
you
a month.
guys.
Don't
Yes.
try vegan.
Right now.
Stop that. Vegan is very good.
It's
very good. It's very good.
Yeah.
It'll keep you here for a long time.
I'm sorry. I need my chicken.
That's my week. Chicken wings are my week.
Right.
A nice lemon pepper wing.
Listen, LaShawn,
Yes.
me tell you something.
Don't mention that.
You look indignant.
Right.
You look like right.
Did you see me just go like that?
Yes.
There was a time I would come off stage, get a 20-piece buffalo wing, extra hot, extra blue cheese, a large fry, and a Pepsi, and I would sit in my hotel room bed and I would eat every last piece of it. So I've had my full of wings.
Right.
I'm not saying I won't never eat another one, but then once you actually see what they do to the chicken.
I know, it's bad. It's
Okay,
all bad.
but when you fry it don't make a difference.
It don't make a difference. But that thing like crack.
But I've been all raw.
Loving It Live in downtown East Point is black owned. It's a live restaurant.
Yeah, that's where our chef is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
That's why I tell people,
but
eat raw.
try
You don't
90-10
need proactive.
though. Like 90% vegetables, 10%
Eat raw.
meat.
You don't need. It's
If
just
you like a
raw
little
and
meat.
coconut oil.
That's what I
All
mean.
right, so the district attorney of Fulton just texted
not
me.
a whole lot.
He was like, great show. That was cool. Bring in Bobby Brown. I'm glad he's talking about domestic violence. Big ups to him. That's the show.
Yes. That's our superhero, baby.
Yeah.
We didn't care what they
Oh,
said
man,
about
we
Bobby.
love
We was
Bobby.
like, that's our baby.
And the thing, what was crazy is,
Ready? Back quick. It's gonna be
Okay.
short, ready?
it is short, ain't
I used to break the times like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that, to shine like this. In a matter of time I spent on some locked up in the back of the paddy wagon, cuffs locked on wrist. See my dreams unfold, nightmares come true. It was time to marry the gift.
What up? Welcome back. Still in the studio, Monique, Sydney. We got callers. Let me get to you guys quickly. I know you got questions. Let's go to Laurie. Laurie, good day. Welcome.
Yes. You want to sit on there? Yeah. What's your name? Where you from? Okay, hold on one second.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, sister. I appreciate your call and your wisdom as well. Let's go to LaVon in Atlanta. LaVon, good day. Welcome. Yes.
It's not on the books as of yet. But as soon as I do, baby, we're going to let Rashad know so Rashad can let y'all know.
We will promote the out of it. Okay?
Thank you, sweet sister. I love you back, baby.
Thank you, sister.
Mama.
We appreciate your call. I want to say this because I know you get a lot of positive reinforcement, especially from those who are woke. Okay? And during the commercial break, I wasn't going to say anything, but I want to say it. I feel compelled to just say it. During the commercial break, Leo was still very emotional because maybe this was the first time he publicly articulated all of that in one sitting. And it was emotional for him. That emotion didn't stop when we went to a commercial break. You stood up, you walked to the brother, He stood up and you hugged him. When you hugged him, he started releasing that emotion. He was getting it out. And I said, brother, go ahead and get that out. No shame in that. And it was such a genuine moment. And I'm not just talking about a pat on the back. Sister Monique, you hugged this brother like a mother, like an aunt, like a friend, like a sister. And then, when that moment stopped, your husband stood up and hugged the brother during the commercial break. So I want people to understand that's who you guys are. Period. And that is so refreshing to a cat like me. And I want to say thank you. If nobody else says thank you today, I say thank you for being so true.
That's why you always, when you hit me up, you be like, hey, what you doing?
You always there. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But and I want to tell and say this to your listeners. I don't know if he's the realest man on radio, but there's no one realer.
Come on.
Thank you, brother.
Come on.
No doubt.
Thank you. Man, it has been a pleasure. How can people get at you? Listen to your show. You guys have a remarkable podcast and social media following.
Monique and Sydney's open relationship, and starting the 1st of next month, we'll actually be on our own YouTube channel.
Oh, lovely.
Which is Mo Worldwide. So the show will now be on our own YouTube channel, Mo Worldwide, Monique and Sydney's open relationship. On Twitter, Mo Worldwide, Periscope, Instagram, Mo Worldwide. My daddy like mama. Listen, I'm going to do it through you. I'm like, Daddy, you need a page. Your page is my page.
That is.
I got a BlackBerry.
Listen, I'm talking about he has the traditional BlackBerry, not the new one where they try to compete in the market. No, he didn't bother to go up to that one. He has the regular BlackBerry.
Yes, the original.
The original.
Black and Berry made that phone right there. That's what my baby got.
Exactly.
We love you, brother.
We love you. Thank you. Realest man on radio. Excellent. Listen, I don't know what y'all doing next Friday. I'm serious. I won't be here next Friday. I'm on assignment by CBS. I'm going down to a place called Camilla, Georgia, where the black mayor, first African American man ever elected mayor, they wouldn't give him keys to his office. Okay. They had a segregated cemetery. So I broke the story. I broke it. I wrote it in Rolling Out. I then talked about it on CBS. It went national after that. So he's been on CNN, MSNBC. After I broke the story, the city manager hired one black cop. They took down the fence that separated black people and white people in the cemetery. They took the fence down. But they still won't give him keys to get into the office. They won't give him keys.
To his office.
To his own office. I wrote about it in Rolling Out, put it all out there. I had him come lecture my university class last week. The brother has a law degree. This is a smart guy who was born in Camilla. He left, came back 20 years later. He was like, this shit has not fucking changed. He said, the first time I ever stepped foot in Camilla City Hall was to qualify to run for mayor. He ran for mayor. He won. They changed the law before he can get in there so that the city manager, who's the white guy that's been there for 30 years, has more power than him. Okay? So I'm going down there. CBS is giving me a news crew, a microphone. I'm going to get a letter from the mayor saying Rashad Rich of CBS has permission to talk to every office executive in city government, including police, fire, the clerk, of course, all of that, right? So I'm going to go with this letter. These white folks ain't going to respect it. Now I'm going to put my foot square up their ass on camera. But I got to keep, how do you say no to the man who is in charge of the city? I have permission from him. So that's what we're doing all day Friday. I got to leave at 6 a.m. to get down there at 9. But I would open up, if you're in town and available, for you guys to just do the show. Now, I'm just putting it out there. If you want to do it, it's yours to do the show yourself.
That's so sweet, Rashad.
If y'all want.
All right.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you.
Where's the restaurant?
Oh.
As soon as you go out that right.
My loves, thank y'all so much for hanging out and playing with us. That's Rashad Richie.
I don't know if y'all can see me on the other side. What's up, y'all?
There you go.
Realest
That's
man
our
in
brother.
radio for real.
Thank y'all for hanging out, baby. Stay